Hello everybody, hope things are great with you. I am ending the trauma series in this video, saving it the best for the last, which is the emotional abuse trauma. Emotional abuse is categorized as the worst of all abuse because it uses psychological exploits. Let me just give you some reference here. An emotional abuse trauma is when an abuser controls a victim by performing some of the psychological exploits like verbal isolation, gaslighting. There's just so many things. I'll just explain to you briefly what are those. But the fact is, they are constantly in a position that they will feel weak, belittled, small, unimportant, useless, and in a fearful condition. They try to do that by doing one of the following things. Okay, sometimes they'll have more than one. So if a client comes to you and they say that they believe that they could be a victim of emotional abuse, most of the time they have no clue. It is your job as an astrologer to sort of perform an assessment and interview them, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you should do that. So the things that they may go through if they believe that they are a victim of emotional abuse, the things that you can check with them is if they are verbally abused or not. Verbal abuse is like they will call names, they belittle them, they make them shame in front of the public, altercation. They do not possess the power to speak back. They constantly bring them down with this verbal abuse. They could be also a victim of isolation. This happens usually in office. So a group will team up and isolate one person. Okay, we are going for lunch, don't let that person know. Eventually they feel unimportant, right? That's one thing. Gaslighting is a term which is gaslighting is usually used in interrogation in law enforcement. What they do is it's like, let me give you an example. It's easy example. Like if I were to tell you every time, so I'm the abuser, you are the victim, okay, and we are in a relationship, we're working together, we're a family member, whoever that I want to abuse, okay. So you come to me and say, hey Prakash, do you remember the restaurant that we went last week? It was good food. Do you know the name of the restaurant? And I'll go like, restaurant last week? No, I don't think so. Wasn't it 2 weeks ago? So you dismiss whatever they were saying. Now if I can constantly do that, constantly dismissing that they may be mistaken or they are forgetful, you are creating a state of insanity. Actually, they're going to question themselves one day. Something is wrong with me. I have so much of memory problems. Am I right? What's going on? Their perception will be altered. Now imagine if I team up with other people and do the same thing as well. So gaslighting is used in law enforcement. It is it's pretty dangerous. Okay. You could also ask them if their abuse of sometimes is, it happens with children where they are treated unevenly. One child is given more privilege than the other. That's something. All these are types of emotional abuse. They it really goes deep inside your heart. Some are threatening, right? They can threaten you and they can create fear, like, okay, there's something's gonna bad happen to you, or there is we saw someone walking near your house, or whatever there is, you must check your car before you start. All these things they try to instill into the victim, creating fear. So again, as I said earlier in other videos, is that it has to be repetitive. When they perform it repetitively, the abuser keeps doing it again and again, day in, day out, that becomes a trauma. Okay, so these are the things you can actually check. Now astrologically, there's only one graha you really need to, and it takes a long time for you to do that. It's not very straightforward. You have to start with the moon. Chandra Bhagavan. Moon could be afflicted, could be in the Chandrashtama or moon in the 8th. It could be moon in a bad drishti. It could be moon in a Marana Karakasthana, which is the 8th house as well. It's just so many things, right? There's a plethora of things for you to check just on the moon, the tidhi of it, the shape, the lunar phase, of course, the aspects, the argalas. There's so many for you to check and to see how is the position of the moon, the nakshatra associated with that, and so on and so forth. So analyzing the moon is it's pertinent. Okay, it's very, very important. Analyze anything and everything on the moon. Start from there. Now, side by side, give them life coaching skills, like, you know, how to raise your self-confidence, to be in clarity, to be in focus, to feel hopeful about life. You know, motivational skills is very important as well, because they're already very low in motivation. All right, so so that's it. I hope you would have enjoyed somewhat. I hope learned a lot of things from this trauma series. I will be starting a new series soon. So if you like these videos, do share, and I'll talk to you soon.